the attacking players, when they do well, the goals and the assists always get the credit. You have to give Ryan Allsop that full credit for that save, because if that goal goes in, it completely changes the dynamic of the game again. In fact, 2-1 down then with 90 plus 4-5, it completely changes it, 100%, doesn't it? So fair play to Ryan Allsop, Dad. He deserves the praise on that one, because he keeps us in the game at that point. Well, he keeps it at 1-1, and it gives us that platform to go on and get that winner then. So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And on Saturday afternoon, Birmingham City beat Blackburn Rovers 2-1 in dramatic fashion, with 2 goals coming in 90 plus. Now, it wasn't exactly a blockbuster game of football, but we got it over the line. We showed that grit, we showed that resilience, and we showed that determination, which is only a result of getting that winning mentality over the past 12 months. Stad, we were there, absolutely electric atmosphere. What are your thoughts now, 24 hours on from the game?
It was nice to, after the Ipswich game, when we felt that we were 2 points stolen off us when they got a penalty that shouldn't have been awarded, so we dropped 2 points. This was the reverse of that in a good way, in as much as we looked like we weren't going to get anything. Then, oh great, we got a point, and suddenly we've got 3 points. It was brilliant, and in being in the way end when that second goal went in, it was carnage, absolute carnage. It was
people were getting launched for rows down.
It was absolutely crazy. It's such an experience, and it was so good to be there. I mean, we'll come on to the game in terms of the nitty-gritty of how it went, but I think that it shows you that the level of the championship in terms of the quality of the players that we're up against is that they it's very different from League One, in as much as they really tried to suffocate us. Didn't they? Although teams tried to do that in League One, but these teams have also got the ability to catch you on the break and play as well. So I think there's a bit of a lesson here for Blues, because I don't think by any means we're anywhere near our best by any means. No. I think a fair play to Blackburn in terms of the way they tried to stop us, but I don't. Yeah, we got the 3 points, and that's really all that matters. But I think that Chris Davis and the boys will learn a lot from this game in terms of the level of the championship and how the game went, and I think that's really going to stand us in good stead. It was a tough battle, isn't it? It was a tough battle, and I think moving forward, I think we'll look back at this game as been a big favour for us.
Yeah. I think I want to start the podcast, Dad, by talking about Chris Davies in his post-match interview, because you mentioned about the away end, and when that second goal went in, the limbs, and people were getting thrown 4-5 rows down. It was bedlam. And what Chris Davies said after the game was, in football, by the way, I'm paraphrasing here, forgive me if I've not got it exactly right, but he said there's no such thing as like a final destination. It's all about moments, and it's all about memories. And he even said he'll never forget that for the rest of his life. Yeah. And me and you, Dad, have been to many, many, many Blues games over the years, including the Premier League days, including cup finals, including everything. That away day for me will go down definitely top 5, top 3 of all time. It was absolutely incredible. We're coming off the back of last season, like Peterborough away where we won the league, and Wickham away we talk about fondly, but that was just another level, wasn't it? Of course, it helped that we scored 2 goals in 90 plus minutes, because actually up until that point, if we're going to be honest, it was a pretty underwhelming game of football, wasn't it? It was pretty underwhelming. Yeah. I call that a smash and grab, get in, get out. It is what it is. But I think what this showed me, Dad, and I said it in the introduction, was the resilience, what a winning mentality can do, what the momentum can do for you. Because I think, you said fair play to Blackburn there for stopping us. And to some extent, I think they did their homework. They definitely frustrated us. Tactics I weren't expecting again. Like Ipswich, you even referenced League One tactics, Dad, when we played Ipswich. I felt like it was the same again a little bit against Blackburn, I just felt like it was never going to be conductive to a free-flowing game of football, because they set up to frustrate us. And again, maybe you could say fair play to that, but ultimately, Dad, we get the 3 points, we move on. Underwhelming game of football, but as long as you pick up those 3 points, who cares?
Yeah, I think that what we've seen so far in the league for Ipswich and now for Blackburn is that the teams appear to be adapting to us, which is really weird. Like, they seem to have trying to manage the game based upon trying to stop us, whereas we felt like last season this was normal for us. But then we thought we'd come back in the Championship. We said it many times. We're going to get teams that are not going to be frightened to come at us. And so far, Ipswich are a team that got relegated from the Premier League, and Blackburn are an established Championship team, and both of them have adapted to our game in terms of trying to stop it. And I find that very, very surprising indeed, because I thought that wouldn't happen.
But maybe people are seeing us as a bigger threat than what we even maybe think we are. Seriously, because people have seen us dominate games in League One, high possession. We're trying to do the same, and I'm noticing similar-ish tactics to teams trying to stop us last season, And don't get me wrong, again, I will actually say, fair play, I think they did frustrate us well in the first half. They were set up quite well. But, can you remember any chances, many chances for both teams across the course of 90 minutes?
I've got a few I've noted, but
very minor though.
I think if you look at the game from what you reflect on the game after it, and obviously because we're live at the game, you sort of come home and you watch the highlights and you remember that, I remember that, and I think they had better chances than us actually over the game in terms of the which I'll go through a few in a moment, but overall, we still played our high energy. The players didn't stop running, and when things didn't quite work out, we sort of banded together, and that's what I mean. The final goal, it summarised the whole team ethic really in terms of get up the pitch and score that goal. But overall, Matt, I just felt that we reacted well to a tough game because we could have easily have lost that game.
Also, I think there's a different feeling around Birmingham City at the moment. Like when Ipswich equalised, we were devastated because we thought and we felt like we deserved to win. When Sheffield United equalised, we always felt like we were going to get a second and get back into it. Even when Blackburn went 1-0 up, I never felt, even though we weren't at our best, we were never out of the game. I've not had that feeling as a Blues fan for many, many years. We're never out of it. We're never beat. We don't know when we're down. And, I think good teams, Dad, it sounds like a cliche, but it is true. They find ways to win. Yeah. And that's exactly what we did. That was not a pretty game. It was not a pretty win. No. But we managed to hung in there. And what I will say, that is, again, for me, fitness levels. Yeah. You noticed at about 80 minutes for me. Well, I noticed at about 80 minutes, our players were still way quicker and more fitter than the Blackburn players, in my opinion. Yeah. And that showed in the later stages of the game, in my opinion. And we've seen this as a Blues fan base, haven't we? We grow into games. We're better in the later stages of games often because Chris Davies, as he calls it, pounds the rock. We shatter teams out, and I felt like even against Blackburn, Dad, we were tiring them out over the course of 90 minutes. I mean, if you look at that final goal, we'll go to things in a little bit more detail, but it's relevant to my point. We break, they're flagging getting back. Yeah. A lot of those Blackburn players are struggling, whereas Dimmy Gray is down that right electric, and we all managed to get back.
It came from a corner from them, so they were trying to push players forward because we were in the last few minutes of the game, and that's where we caught them out. Our break caught them, and we'll come on to the bit detail that got in a moment. But just to say hello to a few people, because me and Matt met a lot of people yesterday, and thank you to everybody who come up and chat with us, had a chat, and and compliment us about the podcast. And but just a few names, and again, I always say this: I apologise if we haven't got your name here because I can't remember everybody, particularly after a few points. But we were speaking to Kirk and Freddie at the before the game.
Also, apologies to Freddie. I must have asked his name about 5 times. I think the second beer or third beer must have been going down by then. But apologies. But really nice to meet you both, and really nice chat before the game.
So hello to Kirk and Freddie. John Maley, nice to meet you, John. You regularly put comments on our podcast, so it's nice to put a face to the name.
And also, thank you for calling me slim and you fat.
Yeah, thanks for that, John.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Did you say you look slimmer in real life?
Yeah, and you look, I don't know what the word was. It wasn't offensive. He was having a good laugh with it. But I think you look maybe a bit bigger.
Okay, fair enough. We also met Les and Chris from Redditch Blues. So nice meeting you two guys as well. And also Linda. Nice to meet Linda as well from the working with the Birmingham City Foundation. She was just a couple of rows behind us and just over to our left. And also as well, we met Tommy Jack and his dad from Blues Focus as well. So we met loads of other people. So anyway, just give a shout out to all those people and thank you very much for all of your support of the channel and all of your kind comments. Just one final thing as well. The air conditioning on our coach was broken, wasn't it? Oh my word. If anybody has ever seen the film The Great Escape, do you know where they keep putting Steve McQueen in the cooler? That's what the coach felt like. It was absolutely boiling and roasting in there as well. So that wasn't a nice journey for us. But
it didn't matter because
it was all worthwhile.
It
was all worthwhile. 7,000 blue noses, Matt, just over 7,000 blue noses. And it was so loud, wasn't it, in the way end and bouncing, and even when they scored their goal, we got straight behind the team, and keep right on. The players heard it. Chris Davies said that gave them the push they needed.
Yeah, absolutely, Dad. But what I will say is, for the first time this season, we experienced the home roar, didn't we? Because, Blues fans, when you're in the away end, any football fan, and you hear the home team score, because obviously they outnumber you, and you hear that roar, it's just heartbreaking. It really is. Every single time, it's absolutely horrible. But again, it doesn't matter because we turned it round. But when that second goal, Dad, went in, I haven't heard an away end like that for many, many years. Seriously, that was absolutely wild.
Yeah, no, it was.
Well, and the video, I must have watched that second goal go in, I reckon, somewhere between 50 and 100 times. I've just watched it on a loop.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I'm focusing on Dimmy Gray, sometimes I'm focusing on Dykes, but 90% of the time I'm focusing on the fans behind
I know,
for that
it's
night.
brilliant,
It's
isn't it?
absolutely fantastic.
There's there's nothing like the feeling of that. Is it to win like that
90
as well?
plus. Was the goal 90 plus 8 or 90 plus 6
It
or
was
something?
90 plus 8. But what was really special about it, the goal was down our end as well. Both of them, weren't they? Let's just talk a bit about the game. But
sure,
but overall, I mean, Chris Davies reverted back to the same starting lineup as the Ipswich game. So in midweek, he made 6 changes against Sheffield United, but that was all reversed in the starting lineup of this. So the starting lineup for Blues, just to remind everybody, Allsop in goal, Asai Samuel, Phil Neumann, Christoph Clara, Alex Cochrane, Dimmy Gray, Paik Iwata, Keshi Anderson, Jay Stansfield, and Kyogo Furuhashi. That was the starting 11. Now, like you mentioned, Matt, the first half was a little bit sort of both teams cutting each other out and stopping each other.
It was frustrating.
There weren't huge amounts of chances in the first half, but Blackburn had a chance when I think it was Ryan Albiasu. He went through, but this is where the referee basically Clara he clipped Clara and then went through, and then the referee blew. So he would have been 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. But it was a late whistle because I was turning around to you and say, why hasn't he blown? Because it was a clear foul on there. But that sort of also ended up parrying it or saving it. Then he blew his whistle. But we had a
definite foul that was.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Really. I don't know why they leave it so long sometimes to blow the whistle. I think it's dangerous.
But the thing is, I do as well. But the thing is, you often wonder in your mind, is the referee actually going to blow here? And that's what is a bit of a worry, isn't it? Because of what we've seen already this season. Yeah. But he did make the right decision in the end. I mean, even the Blackburn players were furious, basically because he blew the whistle. Like I say, if a referee is going to make a decision, if he doesn't blow his whistle, he lets play go on. Somebody could get injured in that time. So if it is an actual decision he's going to make, just blow. Anyway,
it's like the offside flag, isn't it, Dad? They don't put the flag up until the ball's in play again. So you could be offside, but they're not going to put their flag up until the striker touches it. It's so frustrating. Just put the flag up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that was
I'm griping about the officials.
No. We don't want to do that really now.
It is annoying though.
It is frustrating. We only had one real chance in the first half, I would say. Nothing, too. It was half chance. Alex Cochrane from just outside the box. The ball pinged around. It must have felt him. He's got a good left foot on him, Alex, hasn't he? But he forced a save out the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper had to parry the ball. And luckily, there was a cup for them. There was a couple of Blackburn defenders there that cleared the ball. And we turned around, me and Matt turned around at half time and said to each other, what we're going to talk about in the podcast for the first half, because it's almost like a game of chess, wasn't it? Yeah. But then the second half livened up. Now, at second half, Alex Cochrane was replaced by Ethan Laird because, as we found out in Chris Davies' post-match interview, that Alex Cochrane picked up a knock.
Shout out to Laird as well, Dad. I thought he was fantastic. In fact, is it too much of a short statement to say he changed the game for us on that left-hand side?
I think that's exactly what happened, Matt. I think his dynamism on that side. I mean, Alex Cochrane is solid. He's good at what he does. But what Ethan gave us, he gave us something extra. He gave us what he normally gives us.
Made us dangerous again.
Yeah. Well, he was responsible for played a big part in both goals. So we got the penalty for the first goal, and also he's the one that cleared the ball. That eventually, I think he went to Williamson.
Dimmy cleared the ball to Laird.
Yes,
and then Iwata picked it up because Laird got tripped, and then Iwata played it.
Yeah, but it was Ethan's burst that actually sort of got us out as well. But let's talk about the Blackburn goal, because that came first, and I felt a bit disappointed with this, if I'm honest. I mean, originally it was a corner from Todd Cantwell, and then the ball was pinged around backwards and forwards.
Scrappy, wasn't it?
It was, but what was disappointing was the fact that he, there was no challenge on him. He was sort of had enough time to, and to be fair, it was a nice little shot.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate it at the time because I was just fuming. It was like head ping pong, weren't it? It weren't hitting the deck.
Yeah.
Because I think if that hits the deck sooner, as a defensive team, we're normally pretty good at mopping it up. But I think because it was going ping, ping, ping for a little bit, and then he's just completely unmarked at the back post, well, in line with the back post. And, fair play. Actually, on reflection, it was a decent finish, to be fair.
It was a good finish. And actually, the way he hit it as well, it actually went through one of his players' legs as well. So that would have also not helped Ryan Allsop as well, because he would have seen
I don't think he's stopping that anyway.
I think it's the pace. It's the pace. But so it was a good goal, but it was disappointing. It was in the 50th minute, feeling that, when you're away from home, it's always harder to come back from, if you go behind.
And before the game, Dad, you predicted 2-0, I predicted 3-1, and then you made a tongue-in-cheek joke about the brick wall not being breached. But this is exactly why I said Blackburn would score. All it takes is a scrappy corner, a deflection or a bad refereeing decision for them to score a goal. And as it was, we turn up and it's a corner that we don't deal with. First ball, second ball, third ball, fourth ball, boom, goal. And it's like, that's the Championship. It's a higher level, isn't it?
Yeah, something I've noticed as well, and we've also talked about this as well, Matt, is the long throws back.
Yeah, it is.
It's really in fashion, isn't it? You know, every team, Ipswich played it, Sheffield United played it,
West Brom played it.
We play it as well now.
Yeah,
Ethan Laird and and Cochrane as well. So it's definitely something we need to be weary of, because actually, in a moment they had a chance from.
Also, why not? Get the ball in the mix.
It's as good as a cross.
It's a set piece.
Yes,
Yeah,
as good as why not?
As good as a corner if you're far enough down.
Yeah. I mean,
you'll never get the power you can from a corner because it's coming from your foot, but you can cause a lot of damage just getting it on the penalty spot. Why not?
I think we'll see a lot more of that now. Continue to move. Even though I saw it I've just watched the Man United Arsenal game.
They do long throws.
There was a couple in there as well, long throws.
Do you reckon there's like these behind the scenes memos that go out? Long throws are back, or like or whatever it might be, like just an unspoken agreement between teams. Because suddenly things go out of fashion, then things come back into. It's like playing out from the back. Do you reckon that'll just disappear in a couple of years' time?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why. I don't understand why they ever went out of fashion. If you've got the chance to launch the ball into the area and it's going to cause problems, then why not? Blues had a chance as well. Before we scored our goal, Iwood, he drove to the edge of the box and he hit it at pace, and the goalkeeper dived to save it. I mean, to be honest with you, it wasn't really at massive pace. I think it made it fairly straightforward. The goalkeeper just saved it to his right. Blackburn had a chance as well after Iwood's chance before we scored. Is it Ryan Hedges? He went bombing it. The ball broke down the left-hand side, and he lofted the ball into the area. And I think it was Cargo, his name was, glanced the ball just past the left-hand post. So it looped over and he headed it, and it went about that far wide. Ryan also wouldn't have got it. If that was on target, he wouldn't have got it. So that was a chance for them. And then we had our goal. And
actually, Dad, was it the goal and then the save, or was it the save and then the goal? The stop from Ryan Allsop when Blackburn were 1-0.
No, that was after the first goal.
That's the first goal.
We'll come on to our first goal first, then we'll talk about that, and then our second.
Because that changes the game again. But first goal.
You're right, Matt. Because if they get another one,
game over again.
Suddenly it's a bigger hill to climb, isn't it? Yeah. But our goal, and again, Matt, let's go back to Ethan Laird. You've got to give him credit. His tenacity. But firstly, it was his throw. It was a long throw into the box to start with that eventually came back to him, and his burst of pace. He had three players around him, but his determination to get it in, because he knows. Ethan Laird knows if you get it into the box, you've got every chance you're going to get, tripped or pushed or whatever. But it was a clear and obvious penalty to me. I saw one of the on Blackburn X's. It was a dive. Seriously, have a look at that. I mean, that's as clear a penalty as you'll ever see.
A lot of the level-headed Blackburn supporters that have said it was just clumsy defending. It was bad defending. It was a penalty. And you can usually tell whether it's a penalty or not by the protests of the team who gave the penalty away. And I don't remember many protests from Blackburn players.
You can't really. I mean, you could protest, but you ain't going to. Not with that.
No, but if it's unjust, they're all in the ref's face, aren't they? Going, how can you give that? But I don't remember anyone running to the ref, or the guy that even challenged Laird didn't even protest or put his hands up, or he just was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, my bad.
Well, I mean, again, give the credit to Ethan, because he burst into that box, and his trickery really sort of won us that penalty. Yeah. Clear penalty, and then of course Stanner
Pensfield, as the jealous fans like to call him, Pensfield.
But what a good penalty that was. They always say that the best place to put a penalty is into the inside of the side netting, and that's exactly where we put it, because even if the goalkeeper dives at full stretch, unless he's about 6'6" or 6'7", which some goalkeepers are actually, it's very hard.
But even so, if you do it with power, but it's a gamble because it's hard to do. It's what Harry Kane's so good at him, isn't it?
What I like about Jay as well, he says he practices penalties all the time, right? Because I thought last season he was predictable, because when he had that one saved against Cambridge, I said to you, the goalkeeper will save this because he knows he'll put it down the middle, and he did. But you notice he's shaking things up a little bit in terms of, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for the goalkeeper to try and predict where he's going to put it. It's a really good penalty, really good pace. That made it 1-1. And then it was like 11 minutes of added time, which I think what we noticed that at Ipswich they added 8 on. So I think the referees have got this really to...
one of their players did go down for a good 5 or 6 minutes, and then obviously you got substitutions and the ball...
Actually, that's
so actually 11 minutes.
That's worth talking about those as well, because when they scored their goal, they were slowing the game down and wasting time, just like the League One teams used to do last season. And, that frustrates us, but of course it bites them in the backside when we score and particularly when we go ahead, all that time that they could have done now is now lost, isn't it? But anyway, they had a good chance. Two of their substitutes combined. Lewis Miller, a long throw. Straight to Gay on the penalty spot. Now, this would have been, it was a great save by Allsop, but this would have been frustrating, literally long throw.
Yeah.
And what sort of like made me sort of think, well, where's our defence? You sort of know from the long throw, you've got to win that ball. He was not unchallenged, but he didn't have anybody close enough.
Yeah.
But what a good reaction save for
I think we
Rhinos.
always sing the praises of Stansfield and Laird and, Dimmy, the attacking players when they do well. The goals and the assists always get the credit. You have to give Ryan Allsop that full credit for that save, because if that goal goes in, it completely changes the dynamic of the game again.
Yeah.
In fact, 2-1 down then with 90 plus 4-5, it completely changes it, 100%, doesn't it? So fair play to Ryan Allsop, Dad. He deserves the praise on that one, because he keeps us in the game at that point. Well, he keeps it at 1-1, and it gives us that platform to go on and get that winner then.
What was interesting, Matt, about that goal and about Chris Davis' tactics is when we went 1-0 down, he substituted Neumann for Dykes. Right, so obviously make us more attacking. So when they had that chance, he only brought Cashin on later.
Yeah.
So
settling for 1-1 maybe.
Yeah, so I think maybe when that chance happened, maybe that we weren't quite as organised at the back because we were more, we didn't have Cashin, so we were basically a centre half light at that point. But that was changed because Chris Davis reversed that substitution in terms of bringing on Cashin.
Yeah.
I can't remember who took off, but was it Kyogo? But he did bring Cashin on,
and
then,
Tommy Doyle as well, Dad. Again, credit where credit's due. I think. By the way, I am not Chris Davies. I have no idea what he's going to do. But in my opinion, Tommy Doyle needs to start playing games, in my opinion. I think he's fantastic. He gives us something different. He's creative. He always wants to go forward. When we played Sheffield United, Dad, one of my biggest compliments to Cashin was he didn't look side to side. He looked forward.
Yeah.
And Tommy Doyle does the same. It's a bit like the Mark Leonard when he came on last season. But
yeah.
I think Tommy Doyle's a step above. He's absolutely fantastic. By the way, I don't know where he starts. I don't know what Chris Davies does. All I'm making the point of saying is I think we need to see more of Tommy Doyle moving forward.
I think we'll see him over the season. I think we'll see a lot of him. But you are right. I mean, Chris Davis has got that dilemma of who do you fit in where with all these good quality players. But
Exactly.
I do agree with your comments about Tommy Doyle. And then there's a second goal, Matt. Blackburn were, after our equalising goal, the penalty, Blackburn were pushing forward. They had didn't really sort of have any major chances, but they were pressing and they got a corner.
Yeah.
And
if you're Blackburn, Dad, you're going to be fuming with this corner. It doesn't even clear the first person.
No.
It goes straight on Dimmy's head.
Yep.
Dimmy to Laird to Iwata back to Dimmy. Bombs it down. And what he does is fantastic. He kind of baits his man in. So he waits. The foot comes in. He bombs fast. And with Dimmy's pace, you ain't getting near him. Beautiful ball. And Dykes, Dad, fair play. The movement he did to get into that position to score that goal is fantastic. And then the place just absolutely erupts behind the goal. It was, what a moment. I will never forget that for as long as I live. It was absolutely incredible. And the pace that we did that in, when have Blues ever been a pacey counter-attacking style team?
Well, that's what we lacked last season. We did say last season that what we lacked was pace on transition. That showed you we have got pace there. Fair play to Dimmy. I mean, he was absolutely outstanding
weren't he?
For that.
But what I will say, that again, and I've said it since the start of the season, I'll keep banging the drum, and I know the window isn't closed yet. We need wingers.
Yeah,
we do. Or at least we need more depth in the wingers, because if something goes wrong with Dimmy,
I wonder how far away Fujimoto is, because he was on the bench again, wasn't he? He hasn't got on yet, so I think maybe he's just building.
And by the way, I really like Keshi Anderson. I think he's a cracking player. But for me, the past couple of games, when we hit sort of 70 minutes, 80 minutes, whenever I've seen him, in the past couple of games, he does look tired.
Yeah, and he's up against better players as well. To be fair.
Yeah. So and by the way, no problem with Keshi. I love him. I think he's a great player. But I'm just saying that we do need more depth on the wings.
Yeah, I think the club know that, and I think we'll probably address that for the remainder of the transfer window, because Chris Davies said we've still got business to do.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind a couple of wingers in case of injuries and suspensions.
Anyway, well, don't forget we have got Fujimoto. We've also got Scott Wright when he comes back.
Yeah.
Keshi Anderson, Dimmy Gray. So we have got some there already. But you're right, it's the depth is the problem.
Dimmy was playing on the right against Blackburn, and he played in another game on the right as well. He does actually prefer it on the left because he cuts in with his foot.
He played at Ipswich, he played on the right.
Yeah, he cuts in and shoots. So again, to me, I mean, I don't know what Chris Davis' instructions are. Maybe he prefers Dimmy out on the right. I have no idea. But I know that if in his career so far, he's a left winger who cuts in with his right foot. That started the Dimmy game. But I don't know whether that's due to a lack of strength or strength in position, or whether that's Chris Davis sort of changing his style of play. I don't know, but
maybe
again,
needs must, isn't it?
It flags to me a little bit of a light squad depth there in those positions.
Yeah, here's a question for you, Matt. Okay, based upon his performance, even if Alex Cochrane is not injured, do you think Laird has given himself a starting shout? So basically, you could play Bright on the right and Laird on the left. That sort of rhythms and rhymes quite nicely.
Yeah.
Bright on the right, Laird on the left. Do you think that's a possibility?
I think it has to be.
Yeah.
We talk, don't we, Dad? You have to give the manager a headache.
Yeah.
You have to earn the shirt. You have to come on and give you all. And Ethan Laird has done exactly that. In fact, Dad, I don't think we come away with 3 points if Ethan Laird doesn't come on at half time. He was that influential down that left-hand side.
Yeah, fair point.
I really do believe that. And if you're Chris Davies, what do you do? In my opinion, I don't know where Cochrane is, but if you come on and you do that, you've earned your place for me for the next game.
If I'm Chris Davies, I'm watching Ethan Laird as a left back, a left flank member. I'm thinking that is something that I want to see again.
Yeah.
I think there's an argument there that you could, and as good as Alex Cochrane is, and we know what a fantastic and solid left back he is for us. Laird has given us something different.
No, it's nothing personal against Alex Cochrane.
Yeah.
We all love him. He's a great left back.
Yeah.
I think Cochrane's more of a traditional left back.
Yeah.
He's got a good left foot on him. He's solid. He reads the game well, but he parks himself well in the left back position. Laird's just like a nutter, up and down, fast, dynamic, quick, and I think needs must add. I think different games require different things. There'll be games when Alex Cochrane gives you that stability and you need it, and there's times when you need the mountain goat down there on the left hand side, and Laird gives you that. So I think you're right, Dad. I think that gives Chris Davies a headache. It's a very good question. It's a fair point, in my opinion. Just in black and white, Ethan Laird has earned the shirt.
That's the reason I asked the question, because that's exactly what I think. If I'm Chris Davies, I'm thinking next game I'm starting Ethan there.
Yeah. He's earned it.
Yeah, and that gives Alex some more competition as well. Although there is rumours that a left back is mooted to be one on the list to bring in.
And also, Dad, while we're shouting out players, Stansfield, in that last 10 or 15 minutes, he was an animal. He was relentless. He was rallying the team. He has that never say die attitude. He was a phenomenal. And again, I said, when Laird come on, he completely changed the dynamic of the game. Stansfield, in that last 15 minutes, he rallied everyone. Yeah. His energy, his press. We all know we love Stansfield, but he gets a lot of stick online from jealous and sort of rival fans.
Did you see that Blackburn fan?
It's so funny when that was just so.
He really lost it.
He was so bitter though, and it was he just come across bitter. It didn't come across like someone who was frustrated at the football. It was just someone.
He came across like an idiot, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, his comments were so. I'm not going to say what they are because they don't even. We wouldn't say them on this podcast, but he was very, very derogatory about Jay Stansfield, and I think obviously just a sore loser. He's actually got a YouTube channel as well, and I forget it. Think what you like, but we love Stano, and you're right, Matt. Stano's work rate is absolutely phenomenal, and he's much more than goals. Everybody judges him on the amount of goals, and he scores plenty, but everything else he does for the team, winning the ball back, harrying players, supporting the other lads, he's absolutely brilliant. He must be one of the most value for money signings anywhere in the whole world,
especially when you compare it to some of the transfers going on at the moment. 10 million here, 5 million there, 50. You think to yourself, actually Stansfield for, let's round it up and say 15 million over the course of 7 years, are worth every penny to me.
Oh, absolutely. But overall, Matt, I thought Blackburn, like all they were, clearly done their homework on us, right? And I think the first half they frustrated us, but we worked really, really hard. If you look at the stats as well, not that possession makes, but we had 59% overall possession. And 8 shots compared to the 5, which 4 are on target and 2 are there. So clearly those stats show that we had the better of the game. I just felt that their chances were better than ours in terms of the ones we've described for them, in terms of not easier chances, but they should have put some of those away. But overall, to come back like that from a position where we had 0 points, 8 minutes later we had 3, is absolutely brilliant. And and actually, winning those types of games show the quality of a good team. We kept going. Yeah. And as you say, we ground them down, and we had an outstanding breakaway goal. So overall, 3 points, our first 3 points of the season, first away win of the season, and let's hope for many more. Well, just a little note on Blackburn. There was 19,000 total capacity there, of which 7,000 were us. A lot of empty seats in the Blackburn, and I think they're another team that are not overly happy with their owners. I mean, we saw a few banners, didn't we, and stuff like that.
Pasha out, was it, or something like that?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. Is Venky's, is it them, their
Maybe,
owners?
yeah.
But they're not happy, and you can tell it's a club that is. I wouldn't say struggling. I think they'll be all right this season. I think they'll probably be around about mid-table.
Yeah.
But they're not a team that's really sort of progressing. I don't think so. I think they've stagnated a bit. But you could. But the reason I'm saying that is you can't still deny that they are a good quality, solid Championship team,
they are, yeah.
and we've come away with 3 points. So you know.
Also, you never know how big these games are until we get a little bit further into the season. It's like when we beat Wickham away last year, and actually when we come away like 6 months later, that was a huge win.
Yeah.
Blackburn could be in the playoffs. Who knows? We don't know yet. The season's too early, so that could actually prove to be a huge 3 points.
Well, if somebody would have offered you at the start, a season, if okay, you've got Ipswich and then you've got Blackburn, we'll give you 4 points. You'd say, oh, fair enough, we'll have that.
Exactly.
I would have thought it'd be the other way around, though. I thought we'd probably, draw with Ipswich and maybe beat Ipswich because we're at home and maybe draw away at Blackburn. But you know what? 4 points out of 2 games. I mean, that's solid. Good performance. As I say, I think for this particular performance, I don't think we were as good quality as we were in terms of the Ipswich performance.
Or Sheffield United performance.
Or the Sheffield United. We weren't as fluid, and I think that's partly because they literally came to stop us. I think that's something that will challenge us a lot, I think, this season. But overall, really good win. Really, really glad we were there. Fantastic, atmosphere, and on to our next game in the league, which will be Oxford United at home on Saturday.
Absolutely. Can't come quick enough, can it? At the minute, it's just fantastic to be a Birmingham City supporter. But as always, we'd love to hear from you, Blues fans. What were your thoughts about the game? Were you there? Did you have any good memories to share? Did you enjoy that absolutely crazy away end in the 2 goals with 90 plus? So maybe you watched it or whatever you were doing at the time. Let us know in the comment section below. We always get around to those and love hearing from the fans themselves. If you liked the video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, we have an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify, so you can listen and watch us over there as well. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and press that bell notification so you get notified every time we post. And myself and Dad will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.